In the Central African Republic, there is growing concern about how the government is handling the COVID-19 pandemic. Activists are complaining that corona regulations are not being implemented and tests are not available for free as originally promised. In addition, in the rural part of the country, which is largely under rebel control, herders say armed groups are taking advantage of the situation to further exploit them.
This herd is on its way to the biggest cattle market in the Central African Republic. Here in Bubui, some 42 kilometers from the capital Bangui, where the herds are sold. For traders in this country, it means moving from areas that are controlled by different armed groups. The coronavirus pandemic is an additional problem. These traders complain that many armed groups have taken advantage of this health crisis by levying huge taxes on them.
We face so many difficulties in transporting our cattle from Kagabandoro to the Bubui market. Armed groups attack our shepherds. Before coronavirus, the rebels asked each of our herdsmen to pay between 50 and 80 euros. Now they've increased the fee to almost 125 euros. They demand so much money for taxes, and we're all discouraged.
Life in Bangui hasn't changed much for most people. It is almost impossible to determine who is infected with the coronavirus or not. During the rainy season, people have the flu or malaria, and that in a country where poverty is notorious. It is estimated that about 71% of the population live below the international poverty line. Men and women are fighting every day to get food on the table. So far, there is little progress in the country. We meet Rodriguez Poloko, a young activist. He specially criticizes the government's management of the pandemic.
We're in a country where we no longer understand anything. In the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, we were told that with all the donations that the government had received, COVID-19 won't be a problem. The test was free, for instance, but now we have to pay for the test, almost 30 euros. Who can pay that? It's an unbearable situation for Central Africans.
In addition to the security and economic impact of the corona pandemic in the Central African Republic, there are more than 4,800 confirmed cases. And in the midst of all this, the measures put in place by the authorities to fight against this virus are no longer respected in public places.